Strawberry rhubarb jam is the perfect combination of sweet and sour. It's one of my family's favorites, and since I've already frozen and diced up all of my rhubarb earlier in this season, it's super easy for me. I prefer to use a blender on my strawberries. You could just mash them up, but I feel like this is so easy, and it's got the measurements right on the side. So the first thing that I need to do is I need to pull all the greens off of my strawberries. And I do this with the strawberry huller, and it's super great because all I do is push it directly into the strawberry right over the stem, turn it, pull it out, and I can push this little button here and it pops the little stem piece right out. There's very little waste with this technique and you get really fast at it. I'll need 2 cups worth of strawberries, so I'll just kind of estimate in the beginning. I usually fill it up to about the 4-cup line with the whole strawberries, and then it's pretty close to 2 cups once I blend it. And then I blend it until my desired consistency. If I wanted it to be chunky, I'd blend for just a little bit. If I wanted it really smooth, I'd blend for a longer period of time. And it is exactly 2 cups. Now I'll place my mashed or blended strawberries into a pot. And I really like to use a spatula for this because there can be a lot more sticking to the edge of the blender than you realize. And then I'll add my 2 cups of diced rhubarb. If you wanted to, you could always add that to the blender too, but diced is usually good enough. It softens up really well as it's cooking. Then I'll add 1/4 of a cup of lemon juice, 6 tablespoons of pectin, and 1/2 teaspoon of butter. The butter is an optional step, but I think it's a good one because it reduces the foaming of the jam. I'll then place this on the stove and bring it to a boil. Now that it's come to a nice boil, I'll add my 5½ cups of sugar and then bring it back up to a boil. I know that this is a rolling boil because even when I stir it, it continues to boil. So now I'll set my timer for 1 minute. I'll just continue to stir it because this would be a good time for it to burn if it was going to happen. Now I take the jam off the stove and I'll fill my 1/2 pint jars up to 1/4 inch of headspace, which is the space from the top of the food to the top of the jar. It really does smell good. You can get a feel for what it's going to taste like already. As I get down to the last little bit in the pan, I always use a spatula because I'm amazed how much can be stuck to the sides. I'll then use a clean damp cloth to wipe the edges of my jars. And this just makes it so that if any jam got on the edge of the jar, that it won't interfere with the seal. And then I place my lids and rings on until they're fingertip tight. This allows some of the air to get out when it's heated, which creates the vacuum, which ultimately creates the seal. I'll then place my jars in the boiling water bath and process them for 10 minutes if at sea level. I'm at 1,200 feet, so I'll process them for 15. Now I won't actually start my timer though until after a rolling boil has been achieved. Now that the timer's gone off, I'll remove the lid, turn off the heat, and let it cool down for 5 minutes. I then place my jars on a heat-resistant surface about 1 to 2 inches apart, just so that they can cool down quickly. I'll leave them there for 24 hours so that they get a good seal. You know that they're sealed well when the center little button is depressed down. After that, I'll remove the ring and use hot soapy water to wash off the jars, store them in a cool, dry, dark location, and eat them within the next 1 to 3 years. It's sad that I don't have any bread for this taste test. That's okay. So it's a nice, smooth jam, probably because I use the blender. Sweet with the strawberry, a little bit tangy and tart with that rhubarb, which is such a fun combination in your mouth.